Hey, you made it. You enjoy having fun in a first person shooter game and actually doing well for at least a couple of games, and then all of a sudden it's like you just get blacklisted and now you're in lobbies where people just camp in a corner and shoot you in the back. Today I want to be talking about skill based matchmaking and how it has gotten so bad that it's completely killed first person shooter games for me in general. The first thing I absolutely hate about it is the way it just seems like it comes completely out of nowhere. You can be playing a game for a good couple of weeks and you're really enjoying it and you're like, oh damn, I'm actually pretty good at the game. You get a decent KD, most games you win, maybe like 1 in 4 you lose, and then all of a sudden it just tips the balance completely out of your favor, and then boom, you're in the sweatiest lobbies imaginable. You can't do anything, you're just getting spawn trapped or killed immediately. Everyone's playing the most like bugged out things possible and you just die over and over again, and it takes longer than it took to get there to get out of it again. You just get stuck in this endless cycle of just being walked all over. And I understand some people counter this by saying that it's just a way to balance out the game, but the balance seems so off compared to what it used to be. Like, playing the earlier Call of Duties and comparing them to the more modern ones, what the hell is even going on? It's like the second you have a KD above like 1.5 or you actually play the objective, the game just decides magically that now it's over for you. You're just going to be in the worst possible lobbies imaginable, and the game's not even going to be fun anymore. And it just completely sucks all the fun out of it because you don't really feel like you're rewarded for getting better at the game. If you get good at the game, there's no reward for that anymore. All you do is get shoved into a lobby with the sweatiest person possible, and it just sucks all the fun out of it. The thing is, it happens often completely out of nowhere, and there's no real way to tell what it is you even did to get there in the first place. And I enjoy having maybe 1 in 4 games, 1 in 5 games in the old Call of Duties where, yeah, it was a trash game, you get beaten, but the rest of the games you actually do okay, or you can at least have some fun, and it keeps it casual and it keeps it enjoyable. Once you get that sort of blacklist from skill-based matchmaking, you get put in those lobbies. Every single game is a loss. Every single game you're getting like dunked on by everyone on the opposition team. And it's not just a case of get good. These are people that are sweating non-stop the game. They play the game all day, every day. If you hop on for a couple of hours a night, it's just going to completely ruin it for you as a casual player. And I know that's why ranked was introduced and why ranked is a thing, but the skill-based matchmaking within casual gameplay is still absolute ass. It's like it can't make its mind up whether you're a good player or not. And instead of balancing it for the more casual average players like myself, it either balances it for the people that are absolutely terrible and puts them into worse lobbies, or the people that are insanely good at the game and puts them all into the sweatiest lobbies. And if you have a couple of games where you're sweating it out and you do really well, and then you get chucked in one of these lobbies, it's over for you. There's no way back, and that's just the end of your game. It's just pointless. And I just absolutely hate it. You can't even get better at the game when everyone in the game that is like so much infinitely better than you and has been playing it so much more. There's no fun to that. I prefer the more random feel of the older Call of Duties where, yeah, sometimes you come against a clan or you come against someone who's actually good and you just get destroyed, but most of the time you have a fun game and fun experience. Another thing I absolutely hate about it is the co-op aspect of it. Like, if you want to play with your friend and your friend is not very good at the game and you're reasonably good at the game, it's just going to put you in absolute ass lobbies. It's going to either make it too easy for you or absolutely awful for your friend who's just going to get crushed by everybody. And again, it just ruins the fun for it. Like, the old games, at least you could have some fun. If there's a lobby where everyone's terrible, it's all people that have just got the game, yeah, everyone's going to have fun. But it just doesn't allow for that, and I really don't like that aspect of it. It just completely kills it. One of the most recent sort of games that I played that had this kind of mechanic in it was the finals, where the first 3 weeks of the game with me and my friends, we played it. It was really fun. We were winning a lot of games, probably about that 1 in 4, 1 in 5 loss metric. It was really good. We worked out the teamwork, we got everything down, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like they just flicked a switch and that was it. The fun was over, you're chucked into lobbies full of absolute animals who just camp in corners, use that invisible light class and just shock you continuously and shoot you in the back, and there's just no way to escape from it. And it ruins the fun completely playing against these unbelievably sweaty players because the matchmaking just doesn't work. It's just not effective. It is not fun to play. And it's completely ruined pretty much all competitive games for me in that aspect. Well, I'm not exactly bad at these games. Most of the time I have over 1 KD, which I'm not going to say is amazing, but at least it's something. But it feels like as soon as you get to a certain point, you're just going to get crushed and thrown into absolute ass lobbies, and I just hate that fact of it. It just felt in the older games it was a lot more balanced. There was less of this like random flick switch and you're in the death lobbies. It felt more like how it should be. Some games you win, some games you lose, but ultimately you win more than you lose and the game stays fun and fresh instead of these sweaty lobbies that are just horrible. And one of the other real big problems with this as well is, say you don't play the game for a month and a half, the game's still going to think you're at that same skill level, you get chucked back in those sweat lobbies, and there's just no escape. And even if you were playing at that level before, say you actually got really good at the game, and then you go back to it after a month, you're a little bit rusty, every single lobby is just going to be asked for you. There's no balance to it anymore. There's no like refresher game you can play where everyone's not going to be that good. It's just everyone's going to be good all the time because they're just constantly sweating the game out. And I just really don't like that aspect of it. Again, it just ruins it. Like, what if you go on holiday for 2 weeks, come back, again, you're a bit rusty at the game. Oh, no, the game can't have any mercy on you. It just has to squash you like a bug. Squash you like the bug you are and just make you want to play the game never again. But a lot of the time, you just get so angry with the game that for some reason you want to keep playing it. I never really understood the mentality, but it seems to happen nonetheless. You hate the game, you hate playing it, and yet you keep playing it anyway. But I just think it detracts from the replayability of these online multiplayer games when you can't go into it to have a casual game anymore. Every single lobby just seems like sweaty ranked, and it's just god-awful. They really need to work on balancing these lobbies a bit more. And if you want to be this, like, sweaty player, why don't you just go and play ranked? Like, I don't understand it really. I mean, I have had like my fair share of being a pretty sweaty Call of Duty player, but at the same time, I guess I didn't play ranked, but it felt like the matchmaking was balanced enough to sort that out. It wasn't putting me in lobbies full of absolute animals who just camp everywhere. It at least felt as though there was a little bit of fun in the game for the other people as well. Whereas, like I've said, once you get that blacklist, that's it. It's game over, and it just sucks all of the enjoyment and fun out of the games. It's one of the main reasons why I've gone from sort of PvP games more to PvE style games. I do still play a little bit of like PvP, but not very much. I mean, Dark Souls 3 was the last thing I properly played PvP on, and I wouldn't even really count that as an online multiplayer game. Although, fighting in the Pontiff Sulivan area is absolutely amazing and will go down in history as probably the best place ever to have that fight club. If you've played Dark Souls 3, you know what I'm saying. But things like that, at least there's some balance to that kind of matchmaking as well. But this is mainly a jib at like Call of Duty specifically and the finals and any kind of like first-person shooter. Again, like Apex Legends kind of does this as well. I never really noticed it as badly with Apex Legends. I felt like there was kind of a scale where you could get better at the game and actually start beating people by overcoming that inertia to then actually play better. Whereas with the Call of Duties, it just feels like once you overcome that initial, oh, I've managed to beat this many people, you just get stuck in dead lobbies. The same with the finals. It feels like you can get so good at the game, but then the game sets you back, and then you're not even good at the game anymore against the people you're playing. It's just kind of like that curve of talent, isn't it? Like at the bottom, there's the people who are really bad or have just got the game, and at the top, there's all of like the pro players and stuff. But where does it leave the rest of us? You can't really be placed anywhere properly. You either get stuck in lobbies full of people that are like bots, or you get stuck in lobbies that people that crush you the second you spawn, and it's just no fun. I really do hope that it improves, but for me, it has kind of ruined modern gaming, and I've got a couple more thoughts on modern gaming and why a lot of things are just absolutely terrible these days. Gonna bring those out in the next couple of weeks or months or so, and just rant about this stuff, because there's so many things that I really dislike with what modern gaming has done, and just the PvP games that I absolutely used to love and sweat out have just slowly festered and died, mainly because of skill-based matchmaking, but for a few other reasons as well, which I'll get into in the other videos. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, please make sure you subscribe. It'll really help the channel out, help me keep making these videos for you guys. And with that, I want to thank you for watching. See you in the next video.